Hi everyone, I'm Matt from Look Into Bitcoin. And today we're going to be looking at other tools you can use to improve your crypto investing and analysis. To do this, we'll be using a number of resources that are all freely available on lookintobitcoin.com, your number one source for Bitcoin information. If you haven't already, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to ensure you're receiving all of our content as soon as it's released. So right now we're just on the Bitcoin price live chart here on lookintobitcoin.com. And as you can see, we've had a fairly good few years. Well, fairly mixed bag. It depends really when you bought, maybe when you sold. What we have here on lookintobitcoin.com is a number of charts and tools you can use to help improve your Bitcoin investing and analysis. We don't believe it should be too complex to time your buying and selling. Obviously, that's easier said than done when there's so much speculation and emotion involved in investing, and especially within the cryptocurrency markets. But with this data tools, we believe we can really help improve your investing and analysis. But we are aware there may be some other metrics you can use that maybe we don't have here on lookintobitcoin.com that you can actually use within your investing and analysis to maybe try and improve, get other insights, or especially if you're looking at other cryptocurrencies that maybe aren't here on lookintobitcoin.com. Maybe if you're looking at Ethereum or other altcoins, metrics for these coins may not even be available. So we're trying to show you some tools aside from the ones you would find here on our site that can hopefully help you. So the first one we have here is looking at the subreddit here in this example for Bitcoin. Now, a lot of traders and investors will use social media platforms such as Twitter or Reddit to actually get their news and look into different insights that many other traders and investors may be sharing across social media platforms. So this one specifically is regarding Reddit as discussed, and this one again is for the Bitcoin subreddit, but these subreddits pretty much exist for all major cryptocurrencies. So it's worth looking at these, especially if you're invested into any altcoins. And what we can see here is just looking at the subreddit statistics here, we can see that the amount of comments per day are fluctuating fairly frequently, and especially the amount of new subscribers that are actually entering and following these subreddits changes every single day. So it's definitely worth taking note. And if we go back onto lookintobitcoin.com and just isolate when would be a good time to sell Bitcoin and when would be a good time to potentially buy some Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. But if we just look, basically any time before 2021 for Bitcoin was a decent time to buy, especially before the previous bull cycle, and a good time to sell was probably April or May, and then potentially October, November, December 2021. So if we go back to this subreddit stats page here, we can see that as this came up in early 2021 and it peaked at around May, April, June 2021. This was coinciding with a Bitcoin price peak. And then again, if we just look at the subscriber rank, for example, so it says here, lower is better. We can see in late 2017, when Bitcoin had its great bull market up to about $20,000, this decreased and then increased. And we can see a good time to buy was before this really started decreasing again in 2021. So the best time to buy here was probably, just looking at this stat here, early to mid 2020. And if we go to the price chart here, early to mid 2020 certainly would have been a bad entry price for your Bitcoin positions. Now, this is just a very simple stat, but a very effective one, just looking at the amount of social media usage for certain subreddits for cryptocurrencies. And just looking at Bitcoin here, this is a pretty fine example of how you could use something like this as just an alternative metric for your investing and analysis. And similarly to this, we can go to something like GitHub. Now, this is looking at the Bitcoin contributions to the Bitcoin source code. If you weren't already aware, Bitcoin is an open source project, so there's developers from all over the world contributing to the long-term success and usability of Bitcoin. But many crypto projects are open source, and we can actually see the amount of contributions or comments or developers actually developing on-chain to try and improve that crypto, whether it be Bitcoin or any other altcoins. And we can see here from when Bitcoin was first published in 2009 to the current day, the amount of daily contributions to the source code is fluctuating quite frequently. What we can do is isolate comments, additions, deletions, and as well as this, look at the frequency dependencies and just the general network usage of many GitHub projects, especially for these lower market cap cryptocurrencies. Like we said, that maybe don't have too much data available for them. Something like this, where we can see actual usage for the network, may be a great indication of a good time to buy and sell a cryptocurrency, especially if you could see a divergence between the amount of actual technological advancements and developments going on chain and the price. If we can see a huge amount of network activity, just looking at the GitHub activity, and prices yet to catch up, that may be a good early indication that price is due to substantially increase in the coming weeks and months. Obviously, do your own research and backtest as much as you can to try and prove any of your theories before you implement any new strategies based on GitHub comments, but just another useful insight you could look into to try and improve your investing and analysis. Third might be one you've used before or at least seen references to, and this is just the Google Trend search terms for any given search we put in. So for now, I've just put in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which gives us a fairly decent overview of what we're interested in. And we can see over the past decade, the worldwide search trends for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So we can see again here, this peaked in December 2017 for Bitcoin, and this was again lining with the 2017 bull market peak. And then in the most recent bull market, it found its second peak in around February, March, maybe even June 2021, again, coinciding with a price peak in Bitcoin. Now, again, I'm keeping this very simple to try and keep this quick and just give you some ideas that you can try and implement yourself. But if you were just looking at the search volume for Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or any other crypto projects that you may be interested in, when you maybe start to see this spike to the upside exponentially, when it starts getting a huge amount of retail interest, this usually coincides with the market cycle peak. And once this dips substantially to the downside, when no one's interested, when everyone thinks it's boring and a dead project that is no use case and no future, probably a decent time to consider entering your positions, especially for projects that actually have a long-term functionality, use case, and likelihood of success. And finally, similar to the Reddit stats we looked at before, this is looking at Twitter stats. Now again, a lot of cryptocurrencies might not even have subreddits, or maybe you just don't use Reddit, so you don't want to get too involved in the metrics along with that. But a lot of people, especially with those within crypto social media platforms, are using Twitter quite frequently. I know I am. Make sure you follow us at LookIntoBTC. But for now, I'm just looking at Philip Swift, the Look Into Bitcoin founder, and we can see very similar trends that we've seen with all of these metrics we've looked at today, in that the amount of followers that he's gaining every single month changes very much in parallel with the Bitcoin price action we're seeing. So if we just scroll down here, the monthly followers gained for our Philip Swift peaked in around May or June 2021, just a little bit after the Bitcoin price action peak, and then again in November, December, again, when we had the Bitcoin price all-time high. This is almost a one-to-one positive correlation with the Bitcoin price action and is a really good, interesting indicator you can actually look at. And this is just one example looking at Positive Crypto's Twitter account, but the amount of Twitter accounts out there that you can actually do this analysis on, the amount of Twitter accounts that are for specific crypto projects, or just for anything in general, it is pretty interesting to actually follow this and see how it correlates to the asset you're maybe trading or investing in. But just one other interesting thing is the amount of tweets that Philip's doing every single month has increased exponentially, and this maybe has coincided with a Bitcoin price bottom. So maybe along with the amount of followers he's actually gaining, when Philip's tweeting, it might actually be worth paying attention to as well. So just to summarize, whilst in my unbiased opinion, Look Into Bitcoin provides by far the best source of free Bitcoin data and information, we acknowledge, appreciate, and implore you to check out some of the other freely available resources for your analysis, especially cryptocurrencies that we don't cover or maybe other data metric sources online don't cover. These metrics that we've covered today are pretty much universal. They work for pretty much anything. Tools such as GitHub, Google Trends, social media tracking tools can give another perspective into the current retail interest in Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, and like we said, pretty much anything. And typically we see peaks in retail interest coinciding with price peaks and vice versa for price bottoms. If you like this video, then please visit lookintobitcoin.com, where you can also consider becoming a site subscriber to gain access to live chats, in-depth newsletters, indicator alerts, private TradingView scripts, and more, all for a fraction of the standard industry price. And let me know in the comments down below and on social media what your favorite tools are, aside from the ones we have here on lookintobitcoin.com, for your own personal investing analysis. I look forward to reading and replying to all of them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.